Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Grey Man Operations. So I've put together 5 of the most practical things I've learned as a new firearm owner, as a female firearm owner, and as someone who is married to someone who is basically a gun nut, and also our recent experience with the legal side of firearm ownership. Everybody's firearms journey is different, but for Ryan and I, because of the channel, we often get insight into many lessons learned from different people. This is by no means everything you need to know, but it's things that I've experienced and found to be most impactful. So if you're a woman, this video is very much for you, and if you're a guy, this is a good video to watch with your partner, or if your wife owns a firearm, or if she's considering getting one. Before I share those 5 points with you, guys, on Patreon at the end of this month, we are giving away a Canik MC9 or a Canik Meta SF. Now, you don't only get the firearm, you're also going to get a mechanic red dot. And lastly, depending on which firearm you choose, you're going to get a stealth Kydex holster. So if you haven't joined the Patreon family yet and you want to get in on that, you're watching this video on YouTube, it's the first link down below in the video description, and if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, it's the first comment. Okay, so the first one, and the one that I think is top priority, is familiarize yourself with the legalities of owning a firearm. Also sign up with SAGA and Firearms Guardian. Owning a firearm is one thing, but the saga you may experience after having to possibly use that firearm on the legal aspect of things can be taxing and expensive. So it is very important to familiarize yourself with the law. Now, the guys who I think do this really well are the guys at gunlicense.co.za. They offer courses, but what I really enjoy and like about their courses is, so you will spend a full day with them on the range. You will learn to use your firearm. You'll do the course. But generally, the morning side of things, or the first part of the course, is spent talking about the law.
The very first thing that we always like to do in our courses is we always do a little bit of a legal recap. Okay? And as we're going through the day, guys, ask questions.
Talking about when you can and can't use your firearm, and especially understanding the South African law is so important. And at the end of the day, you leave with a wealth of knowledge and you understand when you can and can't use your firearm. Then it's extremely important that you become a member of Firearms Guardian and sign up with SAGA. So Firearm Guardian is like insurance for owning a firearm and if you ever need to use it. And SAGA is basically the people that are fighting legal battles in order for us to keep our firearms and to carry them. So these people are behind the scenes, they are fighting the legal battles. Firearms Guardian is around 200 to 300 Rand a month, and then SAGA is about 400 Rand for the year. At the end of the day, if you sign up with these 2 organizations, it's basically the cost of a box of ammo. And if you think about it, it could very much mean the difference between using your firearm and being able to live a normal life afterwards, or using your firearm and being burdened with the legal expenses of that decision. The second point is make sure that your setup suits you and is what you need, and not just what is popularized on social media. For me as a woman, I focus very much more on practicality over reputation. Now, obviously, the firearm you choose has to be reliable. Like I said, you've got to choose what works best for you. For me, it's more of a practicality and value for money, and that's why I went for the Canik MC9. The Canik MC9 was the right size for me, especially with the modifications and attachment. It's like the perfect gun out of the box. I didn't have to send my firearm away for the slide to get milled for my red dot. I didn't want to spend 20 to 30,000 Rand on a firearm, so it was definitely value for money with all its features. With regards to what I carry on it, don't just run a red dot because your husband runs a red dot. You've got to understand the advantages and disadvantages of it. For example, I recently had to change the battery on my red dot, and these are things you're going to discover when you train and work with your firearm. You can't just have your firearm locked up in the safe and expect it to operate and work and function exactly as you need it when you may need it. So buy a gun that you will carry, that you will train with, and that you can modify to your needs. For example, I wear glasses, and if I'm going to get up at night, I'm not going to have my glasses on, so I'm going to need need a weapon mounted light. Something I also like about my red dot is the illumination, because at night I might not see my iron sight. So these are things to consider. You've kind of got to look at your EDC and customize it to what you need. Understand that your clothing choices are going to have to change. So in my experience as a fashion designer, I find that women are a lot more fashion conscious than men. Now, I'm not speaking for all women and all men, and I'm just generalizing, but I think that women are a lot more fashion conscious. And you're going to have to understand that your wardrobe is going to change. You're not going to be able to wear every outfit you imagined as you did before when you want to carry. I definitely suggest that women consider investing in an off-body caddy. What I found with my journey is sometimes Ryan and I would go out, and the thing I had in mind to wear is just not going to work with my appendix caddy. And I kind of don't want to let the outfit go, and then sometimes I would then rather leave my firearm, and I didn't want to get into that habit. And so I decided to invest, and I think this is very good, invest in an off-body caddy that works for you. Now, something you have to remember about off-body caddy is that your firearm is still your responsibility. You cannot leave this bag at the table when you need to go to the bathroom. No one can be fiddling with your handbag. And knowing the law, you will understand and know that the firearm always needs to be under your control and concealed. And so in mentioning earlier about choosing a setup and a firearm that works best for you, something to consider if you have a Glock 17 or a Meta SFX like Ryan, those are big guns, and so it's going to be much harder to conceal. And often it won't work in a off-body caddy. If you are looking at possible options of off-body caddy, I did a video about the Gunslinger from Southwest Holsters and Tagmach. And Ryan did a review on the 511 Select Carry pistol pouch. So those are videos you can definitely check out. The fourth point is you're going to have to become more aware and protective of your personal space. You are now carrying a tool that could potentially protect a life, but could also be the cause of a loss of life. You're going to have to develop a greater sense of situational awareness. Now, this is something I really had to learn, because often Ryan and I would go out, and when I'm with him, I would kind of be in my own world. Like, he's there, he's my protector, he's going to make sure everything's okay, so I'm just like calm. But you're going to have to let that go. There are so many videos out there with women walking with their husbands, and they are oblivious to what's going on around them, and that really needs to stop. We need to be aware, and especially when you are carrying a firearm, there is a possibility that you could be a first responder. So being aware of what's happening around you is so important. Last but not least, I think there is value in tracking your progression. I think when you track your progress, it will make you want to progress even more. So with training, I think it's nice to keep like a training, I don't want to say a training journal because that's a bit cliche, but some sort of documentation. The nice thing with Ryan and I is we have videos that we film, and so it's nice to see how you're either progressing or the lack thereof. And I would almost encourage others to do that as well. Keep your targets when you go to the range, not just to post on Instagram, but for you to see, are you getting better? Keep documentation of draw speed and accuracy. When you look at your targets from the last time you were at the range, you can kind of evaluate, did I shoot better? Was I faster? You can look at things like when you dry fired twice in the week before and then you went to the range, did you find your red dot sooner? Were you a lot more accurate? And when you look at that, when you look at those things, you can kind of hold yourself accountable. I think that when people get firearms, I think that that's the end, but it's really just the beginning, and you want to progress. I think that when you keep documentation or even film videos of yourself, so you can look back and see almost like where your mistakes are happening. On these videos, you can see how you're improving when you train, or how perishable the skill is when you don't train. I hope you found some value in the points I shared in this video. Those things that I covered have definitely impacted my firearm journey and helped me along the way. If you did enjoy this video, please like and share and consider subscribing and join our Patreon family. That's it guys, have a good week, be safe, train hard, cheers, God bless.